All right, today we're going to draw Donald Duck, one of the Fab Five. What I've got here is a 4B Statler pencil, and I've got a light blue color pencil that I use to help draft everything out with. So with Donald being one of the Fab Five, let's start out like we normally do, about a 2 to 3 inch circle, but hey, I'm going to try something different, show you a little bit different on how to draw a circle. We're going to start off with a tick mark here, a tick mark down here, right about there, and we're going to actually kind of see the square. It's kind of a square. It's line here, here, here. So we got a tick mark here, 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 and here. Now, what I like to do is I like to shoot for points of where I'm drawing. So we got 4 marks here. So we're going to go ahead and kind of visualize where that circle's at. We're going to lay it down and see if we hit those marks. Now, it's not going to be perfect, so then we got to make your adjustments as you see the circle come down to the paper. And I can see the tick marks are not perfect, so I'm making adjustments on that circle. And there we go. Doesn't have to be perfect, just something to go by. There you go, so we got our circle. Now let's draw a tick mark up at the top, the very top, the very bottom, so that we've got a line for our guideline, a horizontal guideline. So let's go ahead and draw that. Trying to keep it light as possible. Now, let's go about a quarter of the way up. I would say about right here and right here. See, it's about a quarter. So there's 1, 2, 3, about 4. So about a quarter of this circle. And I'm going to draw a line to connect this. There we go. So these are our guidelines for Donald. Did you know that Donald was created by Walt Disney by the influence of a voice actor named Clarence Nash? Clarence Nash did the actual voice, and they created the character around Mr. Nash's voice, and that's how they came up with Donald Duck. All right, so let's get back to this. We're going to go ahead and start off in this corner right here. I'm going to call this like a boomerang line right here. And we want to kind of look at both of them here and see how they match up. And let's call this a boomerang line. Right about like that. And this is going to be the corners of his mouth. Now to get the, well, by the way, we're drawing the duck bill of Donald right here. This is what we're doing right now. Now we want to make an arc about right in this area right here. So we're going to come and make this arc. And I'll tell you what I'm trying to line it up with. Trying to line the distance right here and here to be the same, from that point to this point, from that point to this point. And that'll be part of his duck bill. And then we want to connect these with a circle, a little arc right here. Okay. Just like that. There we got part of his bill. Now we want to go ahead and draw the upper part of the lip part of his bill right up in here. So just put an arc right in this area right here. There we go. And then we want to go ahead and draw the bottom part of his lip. But you know, before we do that, let's take and draw, we gotta draw like an oval, an elongated oval over the top of this right here. And what we do is we start at this point and end at this point, and this point right here. So let's go ahead and I'll see if I can show you how we want to come up and around and then down like that. It's kind of a strange line, but this is going to be the inside of Donald's, or the back part of his bill. So there we go. And then his dimples are going right in this area right here. So his dimples are going. Alright, now we get the bottom part. I want to kind of draw through this line right here. Continue it to this area. And then what we want to do is kind of bring it down. And this is this big smile. Bottom part. And then from this joint right here, right from this point and this point right here, we want to start the inside of the smile and come around. Just like that. And then his tongue is just a V. All you want to do is just draw a V right there. And then you got his tongue. Now, did you know that Donald was actually created to be different than Mickey? He was an ill-tempered duck who wore a sailor outfit with a bow tie, who had the personality to offset Mickey. Walt wanted someone who was, imperfect and a little bit negative compared to Mickey. And so Donald Duck was part of that creation. So now let's continue. Let's go ahead, let me see. Oh yes, we want to put the top part of his bill right here. So put a little tick mark right here and kind of make an arc. That kind of joins that line right there. Right like that. And this is going to help with the eyes, because the eyes will actually sit in the little areas, the little curvy area right here. So we want to go ahead and put a tick mark here and here to start his eyes, and then we're going to end them about right in this area right here. Again, I'll put the tick mark so I got something to shoot for. And now these are going to be big egg shapes. So we want to start off here and come up and draw an egg shape. Come down like that. Do the same thing on the other side, an egg shape. Just like that. There. Now we want to put in his eyes, so we're going to put a tick mark about right here, so we know where the top part of it's going to sit. And put these little curved lines here to get it started, right like that. And we're going to come around, and these are kind of like grapes, little squished grapes. And we'll come around with the other side here. There we go. Make this one a little bit more fatter. Those are his pupils right in that area right there. Now let's make his eyebrows. His eyebrows will probably start right here and over here, right in that area here. They'll come up to about here, and then they'll end about in this area approximately right there. So I got my tick marks. So what I want to do is I want to follow the contour of the inside eye right here. And so we want to come up, come down, just like that. Again, following the contour, and then in. And there we got his eyebrows. Right? Okay. Come down a little bit more. There we go. Now his cheeks here extend a little bit. So we're going to draw a line, just a little curved line right here. And right next to that. And then there's a line for the rest of his head right in this area here. Put that there. All right. Now we want to put some feathers up here. The feathers help separate his hat from the rest of his head. So what we want to do is do an up, sweeped up, and then come down beside it like that. See that? And then the feather, another feather comes over like this, and then comes down like that. And then we want to do a swoop of another one that comes down and around, and then just arcs up just like that. So there we got his feathers. Comes up and then hits his eyebrow right there. Now we want to go ahead and do his hat. Now his hat is a sailor hat, so we want to have a little bit of a line coming up here, and then a line coming around just like that, hitting his eyebrow on the other side. And we want to make a U shape that comes around to about here, and then loops around like this. So it's like a U shape. See it this way? Well, kind of like a hook too. A hooky U. There we go. And then we're going to do another U shape right in this area right here. Come back around. And then he has his little ribbon that comes off the back, which is basically, I would like to say it's like a W. Kind of looks like a W. And there you go. We've got this all situated. I think we've got all the parts right there. So let's go back to the pencil right here and start drawing in the line work. And I got my tracing paper here so I don't smear anything. So let's start off here. I'm going to turn this a lot so I can see the angles and everything. And we're going to go ahead and follow my lines right here. Stay on the line, follow it around, take your time, and don't worry about messing up. You can always come back and erase it. I mean, they gave us erasers for a purpose. You can always clean it up, no matter what mistakes you make. There we go, and put his tongue in here. It's probably the easiest part, just two straight lines to make a V. All right. Now, let's go ahead and get the other part of his bill here. Did you know that they made a series of short films of Donald being in the Army? Yeah. Kind of funny that he was wearing a Navy suit when he was created, and yet they have a bunch of short films of him being in the Army. Donald also appeared in several animated features, and he was actually more popular than Mickey in the 1940s. He outsold Mickey's merchandise. Donald was so popular in the 1940s, they made 7 animated feature films with him in it. Yep. Looking at my line work here, find out what's a good line to follow. That's what's nice when you draw with the blue pencil. You can choose the final line by looking at the series of lines you've already drawn. There we go. Put in his eyes. We'll clean this all up near the end, and I'll show you how that comes out. Then we do the feathers up here. Let's go follow that line down, around, up. There we go. And his hat. And this shape right here. And then the W. One stroke. There we go. And then we'll be coming back, hatching these right in here. Also, one other thing about Donald Duck, his sister, Della, who had 3 kids, were Donald's nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. And I think we pretty much got this all drawn out and good to go. We're going to clean it up a little bit. And, you know, Donald's favorite catchphrase was, "Ah, phooey." "Ah, phooey." Just had to throw that in there. I'll be right back, guys. Here it is, guys. It's all cleaned up. One thing I forgot to do was to sign it. So always sign your work. All right, guys. Take care.